So today I'll be reviewing Pokemon Journeys episode 65, Dragon Battle Ash vs Iris. This episode was everything I've been waiting for in the series, and it gave us the return of Iris and one of the best battles in the series, with the Alolan champion versus the Unova champion. So let's talk about the episode. So the episode starts off with Ash getting a letter from Iris, who challenges him to a World Championship battle. So Ash accepts and they decide to make their way to Unova. I really like that picture they showed with Silent too. Hopefully we get to see him eventually. So when they get to Opaloosa City, Ash and Goh separate and Goh goes to catch Pampor and Pansear. And that's when he finds Iris by throwing a Pokeball at her because he mistakes her as a Pokemon, which is actually a reference to how Ash first met Iris, so I like what they did there. So after that, Ash shows up at the gym, and that's when he gets the notification, so he heads inside. We see Amalga. Then we see Iris in her new outfit from Black and White 2, and that's when it's revealed that she's Unova's top trainer and the reigning champion. This was easily one of, if not the biggest reveal in the entire series so far, and it makes Iris Ash's most accomplished companion, and by a large margin too. So this is easily one of the greatest feats in the entire series, but I'll talk more about this at the end of the review. So after Iris surprises Ash and meets Pikachu, Drayden talks about how since her journey with Ash, she met and battled different trainers from far and wide, and how she's continued to learn more about Dragon Pokemon, and with that belief in her Pokemon, she rose to become champion. We also see the Gibble she caught back in the Black and White special where she met Claire, and a Goodra which she seemingly has caught too, and it'll be pretty cool to see both of them the next time Iris shows up. I also find it funny that Iris and Ash share 3 of the same Pokemon now. One thing this episode made me want is to see how Iris rose to become champion. I wish we could have seen her beating the gyms in the Elite Four, but that probably isn't possible without a series like Pokemon Chronicles, which I think they should definitely bring back. After that, Iris says she doesn't think she's reached her goal yet of becoming a Dragon Master, even after becoming champion, so to keep testing herself, she's entered the World Championships. And I like how this situation mirrors what's going on with Ash right now, since Ash has already beat a Pokemon League and has become a champion, but he's still not a master, so to continue making progress with that goal, he's also entered the World Championships with the goal of beating Leon. And I like how this puts both Ash and Iris in the same place in terms of career and in accomplishment. So after that, Ash gets hyped about battling Iris, and she says her legendary catchphrase and calls him such a little kid. And Ash says that she's won too. She's just like, no, I'm a champion. And that would have been the perfect opportunity for Ash to say that I'm a champion too. But the anime seems to just not want to bring up the fact that Ash is a champion for whatever reason. So after trolling each other, Ash decides to bring out Dragonite, and this is where we start to see how Iris has developed in her ability to sense the feelings of Dragon-type Pokemon, since she's able to tell that Dragonite is a kind Pokemon just by touching it. After that, we get their battle with Hyperclass on the line, and it's a 2v2. And I like how Iris uses the same line she uses right before you battle her in Black and White 2 in the champion battle. I thought that was a nice touch and reference to add into this episode. So the battle starts off with a Dragonite versus Dragonite battle, and Iris's Dragonite is just as strong as ever, and Ash's really stood no chance, because before it could even attack, Iris's Dragonite used Dragon Rush and sent it flying back. And eventually Ash was just forced to return Dragonite. And I like how during this battle we see Goh talking to Drayden, similar to how he was talking to Chuck when Ash battled Bee and Karina's grandfather when he was battling Karina. It's cool to see him learning about battling through experienced trainers. So after that, Ash sends out Dracovish, who manages to finish off Dragonite using Ice Fang. I thought for sure he'd use Vicious Rend and that the battle would last longer, but I guess not. Iris also took a liking to Dracovish, so I'm hoping we get to see her hatch a Galarian fossil, which would be pretty cool. So after that, Iris sends out Haxorus, her strongest Pokemon and her partner, and we learn that it's the same Axew from back in the day, so it's nice to see that Axew accomplished his dream of becoming a Haxorus, and Haxorus defeats Dracovish before it could even land one move. And I like how Iris points out how she was able to learn from Dragonite's loss to avoid Dracovish's mouth, which led to her win. So after that, Ash sends Dragonite back out, and it comes down to a battle between Unova and Kanto's pseudo-legendary dragon, and Dragonite starts off with Dragon Dance and Dragon Claw, but Iris instantly counters with Outrage, which causes confusion, but Iris trained her Dragonite to hit its head to stop the confusion so it can't be taken out while it's confused, which is a pretty crazy tactic, and it gets rid of the main drawback of Outrage. And even Ash has a shocked expression, and Dragonite is upset. And this is where we see Iris use her ability to connect with Dragon-type Pokemon and talk to Dragonite in a dream sequence and tells it to relax and have fun while battling. And that dream sequence was one of the main highlights of the episode for me, since it shows how far Iris has come in her ability to connect with Dragon-type Pokemon, which was something that she was really struggling to do back in the Black and White series. After that, Dragonite gets back on track, and so does Ash, and the battle resumes, and Ash tells Dragonite to use Hurricane on itself as a barrier to absorb its power. And Iris gets excited about this, which confuses Ash, and she says it's because she wants to show Dragonite how fun battling can be, the classic anime "let me help you out to make things more interesting" move. So Iris uses Dragon Pulse on the Hurricane, and Ash uses that power to attack with Draco Meteor and takes out Haxorus. So Ash wins the battle and advances to Hyper Class in rank 99. So after the battle, Iris is a bit upset about her loss, but congratulates Ash on his win and says that she'll be in Hyperclass soon enough and she can't wait till their next battle. Then she says best wishes, is a promise to battle again. And the episode ends. And I really like how she said best wishes in the end, which is a reference to what the Black and White series was called. We also got some character silhouettes of some people Ash will face in Hyperclass, like Bee and Volkner, but I'll talk about them in another video. This probably doesn't need to be said, but this episode is easily a 10 out of 10. This episode gave me everything I wanted in this return. We learned what Iris has been up to and what led her to becoming champion, and we saw how she progressed in her Dragon Master training. And it's still crazy to think that she's champion. She probably went through the gyms in the Black and White 2 order, and then faced the Elite Four and Owlbear and won, which is crazy to think about. And all within the time it took Ash to go through Kalos and Alola. This episode also shows how far she's come as a Dragon Master, with her using that ability to connect to Dragonite to help it relax, which was probably the biggest highlight of the episode for me, and I really hope we see this kind of progression with other companions later on in the series. But all that aside, let me know what you thought of Iris's return in this episode. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and share the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.